Were those chain sound effects? I don't see any chains barring or hanging from the doors, so what was that sound?
So this is where it begins.
So you guys have been here for days, but you've never been in this room. Okay, I guess the large outside staircase leading up to the giant doors, or the beautiful stained glass, or the fact that it connects to nearly every other part of the castle was just so uninteresting and just way too convenient to bother entering? What was stopping anyone from exploring the largest part of the building? Was every single person waiting for our forced coronation? That might be explained by having all the people in the castle know about it before you did, and they told everyone not to enter this room, possibly? Now, if there were chains barring the main doors, then it would be explained how no one could enter this room, at least from the main doors. Or at the very least, Cullen from being here. Interesting how sound effects nearly helped remove the problem, but the visuals weren't there, causing an even bigger problem of disparity between visual and audio.
It began in the courtyard. This is where we turned that promise into action.
But what do? We know nothing about this Corypheus except that he wanted your mark.
Well, I can't wait to shape the Inquisition as I like. What options might I have? Before that, let's ask some questions.
Corypheus wants to restore Tevinter. Is this a prelude to war with the Imperium?
I get the feeling we're dealing with extremists, not the vanguard of a true invasion.
Tevinter is not the Imperium of 1,000 years ago. What Corypheus yearns to restore no longer exists. Though they would shed no tears if the South fell to chaos, I'm certain.
Okay, so Cori is an extremist group of Tevinter. We should be able to use that to our political advantage.
Corypheus said he wanted to enter the Black City, that this would make him a god.
Right, Cori is crazy.
He is willing to tear this world apart to reach the next. It won't matter if he's wrong.
What if he's not wrong? If he finds some other way into the Fade?
Then he gains the power he seeks, or unleashes catastrophe on us all.
Could his dragon really be an archdemon? What would that mean?
It would mean the beginning of another blight.
We've seen no darkspawn other than Corypheus himself. Perhaps it's not an archdemon at all, but something different?
Whatever it is, it's dangerous. Commanding such a creature gives Corypheus an advantage we can't ignore.
Okay, Cori commands a dragon that might be an archdemon, that is, an old god. That's rather interesting considering Cori may wish to become a god. However, there are a total of 10 dragons throughout this game. Cori would have already tried doing something with an archdemon for more godly power, or he actually commanded one. So this is probably just a normal dragon he was able to control.
Someone out there must know something about Corypheus.
Unless they saw him on the field, most will not believe he even exists.
We do have one advantage. We know what Corypheus intends to do next. In that strange future you experienced, Empress Selene had been assassinated.
Imagine the chaos her death would cause. With his army.
An army he'll bolster with a massive force of demons, or so the future tells us.
Corypheus could conquer the entire south of Thedas, god or no god.
I'd feel better if we knew more about what we were dealing with.
Okay, so we're going to use our information about the future, that Empress Selene will die, and Cori may in fact conquer South and Thedas as a result. That's intelligible. But the question is still, what are we going to do, and what choices do I have to shape the Inquisition as I like? Or are we just going to follow our assistant's ideas?
I know someone who can help with that. Everyone acting all inspirational jogged my memory, so I sent a message to an old friend. He's crossed paths with Corypheus before and may know more about what he's doing. He can help.
I'm always looking for new allies. Introduce me.
Parading around might cause a fuss. It's better for you to meet privately, on the battlements.
I don't know if battlements are private, I guess they are. How about I meet him halfway at a random inn or tavern in the middle of nowhere as opposed to the main base of the Inquisition if you want to keep things discreet?
Trust me, it's complicated.
Well then, We stand ready to move on both of these concerns.
Okay, what two concerns were those? What did you decide upon, and why didn't I get the option of choosing what to do?
On your order, Inquisitor.
Okay, but what are we doing? What concerns exactly? I wasn't given any options yet.
I know one thing. If Varric has brought who I think he has, Cassandra is going to kill him.
Yes, BioWare had to at least make this second game somewhat relevant by bringing the most main character from the second game into the third to make its plot more relevant. Oh, fantastic.
This is the Inquisition. A dusty old ruin filled with barbarian soldiers.
If you shut your mouth and opened your eyes, you'd see that the Inquisition is our one hope.
Ah, idle conversation. The best part of BioWare's writing. That was a good line by NPCs, but what is the Inquisition's one hope? The hope to stop Corypheus? The hope to restore order and stop those responsible for the destruction of the Conclave? Now, you can explore the castle and find all sorts of little anecdotes and quests. That's not really relevant to our plot. It's just part and parcel of having a castle. It's big. But since we have to go do something about Cori and Empress Celine, we need to go talk to Josephine and Varric.
I've made some inquiries into the Imperial Court. The sooner we deal with the threats to the Empress, the better. The political situation in the Empire is dangerously unstable. It will complicate matters.
Everything in the Empire complicates matters. It's the Orlesian national pastime.
Okay, sounds cool. Political intrigue. That's kind of interesting. Let's see what we can do with that. What are our choices?
Turn your nose up at the grand game if you like, Commander, but we play for the highest stakes, and to the death.
Slow down here. How are we playing for the highest stakes and to the death? What kind of political game are we playing here? How do we play the game, first of all? Are the highest stakes Southern Thetis? Our lives? Celine's life? Considering all we want to do is save Empress Celine, how complicated a game is that in hopes, I don't know, I'm guessing, of garnering her support to help stop Cori? I mean, what's the difficulty there? We get in, we tell her about this bad guy who's going to kill her, and that's that.
The court's disapproval can be as great a threat as the Venatori. We must be vigilant to avert disaster.
Okay, do we, dispatch political emissaries at every turn whenever we get news? What kind of game are we playing here?
Exactly what do you mean? How is it more dangerous than usual?
The Empress is in the middle of a civil war. Her cousin, Grand Duke Gaspard, seeks to take her throne by force. Leliana reports that a group of elves has been sabotaging both armies, drawing out the hostilities. Orlais holds Tevinter at bay. All of Thedas could be lost if the Empire falls to Corypheus. Celine is holding peace talks under the auspices of a grand masquerade. Every power in Orlais will be there. It's the perfect place for an assassin to hide.
Okay, to recap, the Empress is holding a ball to have peace talks with Gaspard, apparently, her familial rival for the throne, I don't know why that is, in hopes of preventing a civil war. Now, for some reason, a group of elves want to sabotage the festivities, and there's bound to be some sort of assassin ready to strike. Okay, sounds like a good setting.
We need to attend this ball.
We don't have enough sway with the court to arrange an invitation. Perhaps a few more alliances.
Or soldiers.
We need a greater presence in Orlais. And soon.
Okay, back to expanding my apothecary and iron mining franchises. The joys. In the meantime, let's go talk to Varric, who has apparently found the person we want to talk to regarding Cori, and he's up on those private battlements somewhere. Now, strangely, the game is asking us about the default or a custom champion of Kirkwall. Is that really necessary? Why is it asking us what our experience in the world of Dragon Age 2 should have been while this game is going on? This isn't even subtle or filling in the blanks like Mass Effect 2's intro did. This is almost completely unnecessary. Now, you might think this is purely cosmetic, but we're talking about our experiences in Dragon Age 2 playing as the hero of Kirkwall and what they looked and sounded like. Of course, they should look and sound like the guy or gal we actually played. Oh my god, what is wrong with your face? I know that you can do this in Dragon Age 2, but is that war paint? Has it been a tattoo ever since then? Were you just coming from a fight? Do you always make the same blood smear across your goddamn nose? And do you ever wash your face? Or do you think it just looks cool? Does he have some sort of bizarre neurotic fixation to just smear crap on his face, like tomato soup or horse shit? Oh, yes, smear it on my nose. It makes me feel alive. Anyway, they really say nothing of value aside from Corypheus having some power over the Blight and Hawk having a friend in the Wardens we need to talk to.
If you didn't know about Corypheus, what were you doing with the Wardens?
The Templars in Kirkwall were using a strange form of lyrium. It was red. I'd hoped the Wardens could tell me more about it.
Corypheus had Templars with him at Haven. They looked like they'd been exposed to the lyrium you describe.
Hopefully my friend in the Wardens will know more.
For one thing, the only Templar in Kirkwall that was playing around with red lyrium was Meredith. Secondly, Hawk and company were long gone before more Templars arrived in Kirkwall. This is evidenced by the ending of Dragon Age 2. So please tell us, game, what Templars in Kirkwall were playing around with Soylent Red, and how did you find this out, Hawk?
I appreciate the help.
I'm doing this as much for myself as for you. Corypheus is my responsibility. I thought I'd killed him before. This time, I'll make sure of it.
Translation: that Legacy DLC was so important even though Dragon Age 2 and your choices in it were completely irrelevant, so we need to make Hawk relevant somehow, by associating him with the Wardens and the Templars. Well, at least Hawk has his own reasons for being here. That's something.